Everyone, welcome to Learning by Doing with Praveen Kandan. This is Praveen. In this Java exception handling playlist, we will learn exception handling concepts from the scratch. This is Java exception handling session number 16, interrupted exception. If you are confident about learning, then like the video and subscribe the channel for more update. Please click the bell icon. Don't choose personalized option. You may miss some session update. Please select all notification option. Let's get started. In our previous session, we have discussed about what's my checked exception. So in this session, we'll discuss once again what is my checked exception. Afterwards, we'll move on to the interrupted exception. So what is my checked exception? So checked exceptions are exceptions identified by the Java compiler at compile time itself. Mark my word, this is important thing. Checked exception are also called as exceptions identified by the Java compiler at compile time itself, not runtime. Compiler already knows a risky operation exists. So it's like a red alert. So it may or may not be happen, but previously it knows there is some problem. Okay. Next, programmer must handle or declare it. Important point. Programmer must handle or declare it. Otherwise, it will throw a compile time error. Okay. As a programmer developer, definitely you should handle or declare that what type of exception. Otherwise, what will happen? Compilation error. I'll show you in the hands-on part. Okay. While coming to the hands-on section, I'll show you what will happen if you are not handling that or declaring. So what's the advantage of using this checked exception? It provides compile time safety. At compile time itself, it is just checking that okay whether you are handling that exception or not. It will not carry forward to runtime. Okay. Next, a simple thing. What this Java programming saying means this operation is risky. Be prepared before execution. Be prepared before execution. Like weather forecast. So there may be a red alert, may or may not be happened, but previously weather forecasting team they are telling that so tomorrow we may expect a red alert in this region. We will safeguard all the things. Am I right? Same thing here. You should be alert. Okay. So for that purpose only compiler is not allowing to move forward. So if you're not handling it or declaring that exception, definitely throw a compilation error. So next moving on to the IDE. If you're using the Eclipse IDE or whatever it is, syntax errors means it's sole responsible for developer mistake. It is solely responsible by developer or programmer, semicolon missing or curly brace or typing mistake. Code itself it is wrong. So that is called as a syntax errors. We already discussed this. Type 2, there is a checked exception warning. Code is correct. Yes, 100% code is right. The problem is, it'll show you. So this line not handled by the programmer, that is unhandled exception type, interrupted exception may occur. Syntax error, logic correct. Okay, syntax is correct, logic is correct, but compiler knows risky exist. I'll show you the example, then you can clearly understand. So that red line indicates what is that. We'll discuss now. I'm going to the Eclipse. See here, as per the syntax, everything is right. Logic is also right. That is what they're telling. Syntax right, logic right, but compiler knows risky exists. See here, at line number 8, if you're clicking this, what it's showing? Unhandled exception type, interrupt exception. During the compilation time itself, it is checking. So that is the reason compilation error is coming. If I'm executing this code, see here, compilation error is coming. Red line, it is displaying, indicating that and resolve compilation problem. What is that? Unhandled exception type interpretation. This is the important thing. What exception? Okay, we'll discuss later what is that interpretation. Now just try to understand why you are getting that compilation error, because method definition of sleep. Okay, already how we are using the main function for this class. Likewise, these are the predefined methods sleep in the thread data. thread class sleep method is already defined by like this. So public static void sleep throws interrupted exception. By definition itself, it contains throws interrupted exception. So I will not. What is the meaning of this? Means okay. So why you are getting in the error means read out this. I will not handle this exception. Caller must handle it. What is that? I will not handle this exception. Caller must handle it. The definition itself looks like this. So throws interrupted exception means here meaning is I will not handle this exception. I in the sense who is representing this sleep method. Okay. Sleep method is not going to handle this exception. Caller must handle it. So caller means, for example, if I'm calling Arun, who is the caller? I am the caller. Am I right? So I am only calling Arun. So likewise, who is calling this sleep method? This main function. So this main function should handle it here. That is what caller here. Caller must handle it. So if I'm using that thread.sleep, as per the definition, who should handle it? Caller must handle it. So caller means main function. So main function should handle it, but I'm not handling anything so far. So that's the reason I'm getting the error as compilation error as unhandled exception type. I'm not handling that. But as per the definition, function definition, what we have to do, throws interrupt exception means caller should handle it. Caller should handle it. This is the important thing. Thread.sleep means main method, the caller. So the programmer who is calling that main method, the programmer is calling this here, invoking this. So the programmer is writing this code main method. So the programmer should handle this. Okay, compiler forces responsibility handling. Compiler forces responsibility handling because thread.sleep is invoked or called by main method, and that is provided by who is that programmer, the main pillar. Who is that programmer should handle it. So ways to handle checked exception. Option one, now I'm telling using the try catch locally at a while. Declaring that method itself at the time itself you're handling that method. So then and there you're providing the solution. You're not carry forwarding. You're not carrying forward that. Afterwards we'll discuss. I'm not going with that. So what's the procedure here? Try catch means then and there I will solve the problem. Then and there I'll solve the problem. If the problem is occurring, I will solve there itself. Okay. So now we'll try the solution. For a reference, I'm just dividing this screen to two-way. See here, so first we have to give this here. We'll check why it is not dividing like this. Yes. Now it's much better to go through it. Check it exception you can have left that side. Yeah. Now it's easy to view it. See here. So left side we having the compilation error, unhandled exception type. Right side you can able to view that solution. So what is option number one? Using that try and catch block, we can handle it. So I will tell you try block what will do it. So place the risky code or exceptional code or hotspot area we're telling. So that you just place it in the try block. What I'm doing means before that line number seven, I'm having normal system.out.println statements println program started program running at line number 7 try block. I'm placing the risky code thread.sleep 5,000. So 1,000 means is equivalent to 1 millisecond. Okay, 1,000 means 1,000 milliseconds equal to 1 second. So 1,000 means 1,000 milliseconds equal to 1 second. Next 5,000 means what is it? 5,000 milliseconds is equal to 5 second. So 5 second it will wait. Okay. So that's what I am giving it here. Next, if that exception is occurring, it will be handled by the catch block. Important point: when this line number 9 will be executed, if exception is happening, okay, that is an example here. Interrupted exception is happening, line number 9 will be executed. Otherwise, it will execute the line number 12. For your reference, I'm executing this code now. See here. So program started, program running. Next, what's the output you're getting? So program terminated, no interruption. So that's why line number 9 and 10 is not executed. After line number 8, directly the control will move on to line number 12. So there is no exception. If exception is occurring, line number 10 will be executed. Okay. But in our previous program, what will happen? During the compilation time itself, it will throw a compilation error. It will throw a compilation error. What is that? Unhandled exception type. If I'm executing this code, what will happen? So line number 5 and 6 is executing. After this, line number 12 is executing. There is no exception. This is one of the way to handle the exception. Try catch, local handling. When the problem is occurring, we are assuming that the problem will occur here. So at the time itself, I'm giving the solution, try and catch block, and then handling that exception. Next, second one, throws. Because mark my word, I already mentioned that. What is that here? Unhandled exception type, where it is? Yeah. Programmer must handle or declare it. Programmer must handle or declare it. So now, first, like what I said, first thing, must handle. So I handle. This is one of the method. Second one, now we are going to discuss it. Declare it. Second option. Second option is declaring. So nearby throws. That is a nearby main function. We are adding the keyword throws and then exception name interrupted exception. Interrupted exception. I'll copy paste this content and paste it here. It's not required to use this now. So I'm deleting these lines. Lines also. So here as usual compilation errors will come and until exception type. So nearby this main function here, this maybe this main function. Now I'll give what is that exception name? Inter throws interrupted exception. I'm just declaring. We already mentioned that. What is that here? Programmer must handle or declare it. Must handle or declare it. Now I'm going with the second method. So just declaring. So over now. Read out the previous method. What I told. So as per the definition, so I will not handle this exception sleep method is saying caller must handle it. So here who is the caller? Main function. So main function what I'm giving throws. So this also what is the meaning? I literally throws interrupt exception means I will not handle this exception. Caller must handle it. So this method is again is not going to handle it. It is carry forward upward. So who is calling this main function? That fellow or a developer or programmer whoever it is. So that person can handle this interrupt exception. Okay, can you able to understand what I'm telling? So previously in our previous program we are getting the error reason as per the definition thread.sleep. What is that? Throws interrupted exception means just a declaration, not a solution. So I will not handle this exception, caller must handle it. So who is the caller about this live? Main. So this main function is not handle the exception, so we are getting the error. So after that option one we tried using the try block. Okay, using a try and catch block we handle that exception. Or we are not solving the solution means again it will throw an error. So to avoid this, now we are using the throws intersection. So again what's the meaning? So here throws intersection means this method is not going to handle the exception, this carry forward. So who is calling this main function? That person can handle this interrupted exception. That person can handle this interrupt exception. The caller may handle this, not may, must. The caller must handle this interrupted exception. That's the right word here. Okay. I hope you are clear this real time examples. So back to that option number two, responsibility password, responsibility passed upward. Now it is carry forward. Now it is carry forward. Okay, someone is going to handle this exception who is calling this main function. Next, okay, important thing, what is interrupted exception? So it occurs when a sleeping or waiting thread is interrupted by the another thread. Thread is already in a sleeping or waiting state, so that is interrupted by another thread. Example, if you enable to understand means, if you are telling I will take 5 minutes rest, so 0 second your starting sleep starts at second itself someone is interrupting. So what will happen, instead of you are expecting the wake up at 5 second, you are wake up at 2 second itself, so sleep ended early. The same thing here also. A thread is a lightweight process. In the forthcoming sessions, we'll discuss about thread and all. Now, just try it under thread in the sense small lightweight process. Example: if I'm opening this PDF, this is also running in the background. Am I right? So this is also a process. If the Chrome browser is opening, so the applications are executing. So that is also a process. The program is in execution state. This PDF is open means this program is in execution state. Same thing here. So when this exception occurs means when a sleeping or waiting thread is interrupted by another thread. So important rule is interrupted exception occurs when a blocking thread, a sleeping or wait, receives an interruption request, not an order. Mark my word, just a request. Okay. Here, what does thread.sleep actually do means pass current thread for 5 seconds, do nothing, simply just in a waiting state, sleeping state. So wait for 5 seconds. So thread now enters in the waiting state. Normal timeline 5 seconds I'm fixing. So 0 seconds started sleeping, 5 second wake normally. So no exceptions or no issues here. But the scenario is completely different. You're starting or sleeping at second or third second itself interrupted, someone is calling you, okay, or giving the request. So at the time you have expected wake up at 5 second, but your sleeper ended early, exception thrown. So completely are in an abnormal state, am I right? Someone is interrupting you, 1 second you will be in a shock state, am I right? So the same thing. The wrong idea is many of the beginners understand OS stop problem. No, another thread sends an interruption request. Now you just understand what is that interrupt. So interrupt means sends a request signal. Sends a request signal. Interrupt not equal to stop command. Interrupt equal to request. Java never forcefully kills the thread. It won't directly kill the threads. Okay, just a request by the interrupt method. What's that interrupt method will do means it will enable the flag, the temporary variable equal to true. So only a signal is stored, then only this interruption will happen. Okay, when that exception happens means only if thread is blocking. Okay, sleep, either the thread blocking the same sleep or wait or join methods are happening. So we'll discuss these things in a forthcoming sessions thread playlist. Now just try to understand it's in a blocking state. Okay, sleep, wait, join. So if you're in the sleeping state, the interrupt method is coming, interrupted exception will throw. Interrupted exception throw. Okay, how you are handling that divide by zero means after the divide by zero, exception thrown. Am I right? Exception thrown. Same thing here. If you're in the sleeping states, someone is interrupting by the requesting the signal by the interrupt method. So at the time, interrupt exception thrown. So at the time only, mark my word, that interrupt method is coming into the picture only. Interrupted exception is thrown. Okay. Case B, running thread normally if you're using the while condition true working, so it sets a flag as no exception. There is no exception because normally it's executing. Normally it is executing, no issues. Until you're interrupting by the keyboard or something, control C if you're pressing, it will be stopped. So at that time only it will be interrupted. Otherwise, normally it is executing. Okay. So until you're giving that interrupt method by the signal request, it won't affected by the interrupt exception. Okay, why exception instead of normal return means situation assume that sleep completed normally, no exception. If sleep stopped earlier itself, it is stopped, the exception will be thrown. So early wake up equal to a abnormal completion. This is the problem with that. Okay, so that exception is coming to the picture. That exception is coming into the picture. At that time, you have to handle it. Okay, or declare it. If I'm not doing anything, it will throw an error. See here, if I'm not giving this, it will throw an error. So before exiting the program itself, compiler is deciding, so this area exception may occur, so you should handle it, because these are the checked exception. Compile time itself, it have the capability to handle this exception. So that's the reason unhandle exception type interpret exception. Solution we already discussed, using try catch block, or we can go with the throws declaration. Try catch block means then and there you are handling that exception. Throws means afterwards, okay, who is calling this method, that person will handle it. Okay. So why Java uses interruption means this is a design reason. So if you are avoiding that forceful stopping, okay, if you are not avoiding like this, okay, see here, why Java is avoiding means, in case this compilation errors are not coming means, what will happen means incomplete work. Okay, why Java avoids forceful stopping means, why Java is not forcefully, you should not work like that, it is not telling. Okay, it is just a request. If you are forcing means, what will happen means, if process one is executing, it will may or leads to incomplete work, corrupted data, resource leaks. Okay, so request based stopping only it is happening directly, it is not forcing you to, you should not work further. Okay, because incomplete work, corrupted data is in someone is accessing the data, will mismatch, resource leaks, so all these problems will occur. So instead of that, we are giving request basis. So we'll discuss all these things with the real-time example, then only can able to understand what's happening in background, incomplete or correct data. So all these problems are sorted out by the help of request-based stopping. You're not directly, you should directly come here. You won't order like that. Real-world analysis, professor exam analysis. Professor announced the time over in the examination hall. So say for side, then the student or candidate will stop writing and then put total number of pages in the front pages and then hand over the paper. So they are just giving the request here, so announce that time over, they are giving the announcement, so then automatically the candidate will alert. Am I right? So safely they will hand over the paper. Same principle, they're not forcing you to directly, they are not taking your paper, they're just giving the information and then you are surrendering the paper. Example another, you can take file download cancel, so directly you're not canceling the file. So cancel, after it's clean up, stop safely. Am I right? The file is in a execution state. So first you will pass it and then clear cancel that file downloading option. System shutdown, simple thing. Whether I'm directly clicking Alt F4 and then closing all this application, OS never do like that. OS requests apps to close what is all running in the background, PDF, slides, whatever handling that. You are to requesting to, are you sure to close this application? Shall I shut down or restart anyway? It will asking graceful termination. That is what Java also doing. The interrupt exception. It will give the interrupt method request. Then only remaining is happening. The complete execution flow is, so interrupt method is coming, request is in, flag initialized as true, thread sleeping, yes. Yes means what will happen? Interrupted exception throws. Okay, instead interrupted exception thrown, it will be handled by try catch or throws. The try catch means then and there you're giving the solution. Throws means you're just declaring the exception, carry forward. Who is calling that method? That person will handle it. So why must we handle it means, it is a checked exception. Must handle, otherwise throw a compiler error. You can able to see that must handle either by try or catch block or declaration. You should handle it, otherwise throw an error, because it is a what is that? Checked exception. Okay, compile time itself you have to change. Check it out. So caller in the sense method that invokes the another method. Who is caller here? The main function for that sleep is caller here. So you should handle that. Caller becomes responsible. The final responsibility chain is thread.sleep means main function who is if you are not handling that, who is taking the responsibility? JVM. Okay. If you're not handling that, JVM will take care about that. If not handled, JVM prints track trace why this exception is occurring. So final important rule is interrupt sends the request, sleeps converts requested into exception. Interrupt exception must be handled. Okay. I hope you are clear with this session. The forthcoming session will discuss about the file not found exception. If you found this session useful, then like the video and subscribe the channel for more updates. Please share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.